Happy Halloween.
Spooky.
Kind of spooky. How come you didn't wear your Scream onesies? How many onesies did you buy from that company?
2. I wanted options.
I thought you said you had the Ghostface one and the reverse Ghostface too.
So like, it turned out not to be reverse Ghostface. Amelia got the reverse Ghostface in black and like these colors, but I remembered I don't know, like I want little like Bodhi guys.
All right.
So now I have
I
options.
dig it. I feel like it's good to have a whole bunch of onesies on hand. Happy Halloween, Neil. Tommy's here. Happy Halloween. Al's here. Lots of folks here. Oh yeah, Mirror Domains knows what's up. Bring on the candy corn. I feel like we've done the candy corn conversation, but I am pro candy corn. Happy Halloween, Sam and Travis. We got some fun stuff today. So the plan for today's episode is to celebrate Halloween by talking all things spooky. So if you have any questions that are horror related, you flood that live chat. Drop in whatever you want, and we're going to take a lot of your questions this episode. Yeah. On top of that, we also are doing a big Barbarian giveaway episode because not only do we have five movies anywhere codes for Barbarian to give away on this episode, but we also have 2 of these gems. This is so gross. I can't. Can you guys see? It's a water bottle, and it's signed. It's signed by one of the producers, Roy Lee, and the actor who plays the mother. And it's like meant to look like, like a milk bottle. Isn't that pleasant? It's got like lots of hairs. The hairs are so gross.
Isn't that pleasant, as you say? It's got lots of hairs.
When they handed that to me today, I'm just like I didn't even want to touch it. Like, I know it's safe hair that was pulled from like a Halloween wig, but it's just gross.
It's also not real hair, Perry. Like, that's not real hair.
That's what I mean. But it just it grosses me out. It grosses me out. So that means someone's going to be very, very lucky. 2 people actually are going to be very, very lucky to win these.
I would love to have that myself.
Well, I will gift you this one. I feel weird holding it by the nipple.
But yeah, you're just dangling it by the nipple as it stretches. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here.
I feel like we should talk about something before we get into the giveaway to give some more people time to settle in everything. But we're going to tell you what the giveaway question that you have to answer is soon. So where do you want to start? Should we talk about Halloween-y stuff or
pumpkin pie? Pumpkin spice country fair sour beer.
Oh God, that was too many flavors listed for one drink.
It's delicious. It's so good. This might be like one of my favorite pumpkin beers.
Sour beer. What kind of beer is it?
So it's the kind of release it is. There's Wiley Roots Brewing does country fair cobblers. So I've had like the key lime pie country fair cobbler, like the blueberry and stuff like that. So that's their usual like sour beer flavor.
Fair, and so this one is pumpkin spice. I don't know if this applies to the beer or to the baby bottle with hair.
Could be either. But yeah, so it's just a nice festive beer for today and me, and it's Halloween, so I'm allowed to have a beer because fuck it, it's a holiday.
Right. Yeah, you do you. We have a super chat from Wiley that we could start with here. Happy Halloween, guys. Thanks to you guys and my friend Naomi. I watched a ton of new horror movies this year. Thanks for everything. So happy to hear that, Wiley. That is one of the many purposes of the Merri Hour. So I think that means, Matt, we did our job fairly well.
Did it. The whole year is worth it. We made it through the year. That's it. We're done. We did everything we needed to do.
I mean, a lot of people know the answer. A lot of people know the answer to this question, but I feel like it's well worth repeating today of all days. My favorite scary movie is Scream. I love how I moved out of the way for the mask when there's a giant ghost face right
there's
over
a giant
my head.
poster above you.
Just in case you couldn't tell.
I fluctuate so often, but I still think like Bride of Chucky is one of the most constant, as well as Return of the Living Dead. So flip a coin. There you go. One of those.
All right. 2 recommendations, even better. Shall we talk about the big news that just dropped very recently? So I'm reading from the Variety article on this one. The headline is Friday the 13th prequel series, Crystal Lake, from Brian Fuller, ordered at Peacock. And then it goes on to explain it's a straight to series order. Exact plot details are being kept under wraps, although it is described as an expanded prequel. The show will be written by Brian Fuller, who is also the showrunner and an executive producer. Victor Miller, who penned the original film and the franchise, will also executive produce alongside a whole bunch of other people. And A24 will also serve as the studio behind the series. So this is my first time reading the article. That just changed, like that one sentence completely changed how I was viewing this idea and immediately gets me more on board than I was when I just read the headline alone. I'm surprised they didn't put A24 in the headline, actually.
I think that's because we don't know how far or how much they're actually going to be involved. Like it's a Brian Fuller production, but like
will also serve as the studio behind the series. Yeah. A24 is never going to brand anything with their label unless there's something about it that feels like the A24 style, right?
Yeah, and I think that's going to tie in greatly to, so mentioning Victor Miller is the important part of this entire production, because if Victor Miller is involved and not Sean Cunningham, that means you only have part 1 to work with. So like everyone immediately, I saw people tweeting, and like someone tweeted at me, they're like, I hope they get back to the old school Jason roots of like, you know, the slasher gore kind of stuff. And I'm like, they're not. Like literally in doing the prequel and having what Victor Miller has, you can only use Pamela, you can only use Crystal Lake, you can only use Jason as a kid. So any of the hockey mask stuff, anything beyond part 1, that's all Sean Cunningham. So him not being involved means this is going to be a prequel that is probably going to be like a family drama-esque kind of thing.
Family drama?
Well, in the horror realm. I
don't know if I'd call it a family drama, but I do think that the folks spearheading this need to actually put in the work when it comes to making sure that viewers understand that, because one of the last things I would want to see happen is for someone to give this series a shot and then, you know, then be pissed off if there was no hockey mask, if there was no Jason as looks like the iconic character. And like, I would understand someone jumping into a Friday the 13th prequel series and being disappointed if they don't get that. So it is on, you know, the publicity campaign to make sure people understand that that's not what this series is.
Huge. Yeah. So again, like don't expect hockey mask Jason. Like I'm already seeing people online being like, Jason's back, stuff like that. Like, no, it's child Jason. Like you can't, anything up to the dream sequence is game. So that's all canon to say with Miller involved. But like, yeah, so I really think we're going to get something that is more akin to like, in my mind, it's going to be more centered on Pamela, more centered on the abuse that Jason undergoes as like, you know, the deformed kid in his original state, and everything that they can get away with by doing a prequel, because prequel's smart. It's actually the best way to do it in this instance because, well, you don't have the rights to go forward, so why not go backwards?
This is a good question. I don't even know, though.
Well, we know what happens to Pamela, so there has to be that level of like unhinged attribute, like someone who can kind of flip on a dime and do the killer a little bit.
Yeah. What would like the age range be? Like 30s?
It depends. Well, if this is a prequel, they can do whatever they want. They can go back as far as
I guess they could go
like
back and back and back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Like I think the best thing they can do with this show in this state that they have it and with the people they have involved is to stay as far away from what we know already and stay so far back. Well, so that was funny because I was thinking younger. So I mean,
I see 2 good answers.
Well, I was gonna say like Thaisa Farmiga. Like that was one that came to mind. Like I think she could have fun with that. Like someone who can again dance both sides and saying Mia Goth after Pearl. That makes sense. Like
I don't know about Aubrey Plaza. I love Aubrey Plaza. I don't know. She just is like a very specific like style.
I don't know. I also think that's too obvious. Like the psycho twist with her is too obvious in that sense.
Mamie Gummer definitely comes from the fact that I just did a ladies' night with Grace Gummer. So I'll take
nice.
I'll take either of them, but that's why this one piqued my interest. More Mia Goth love. Every single time I see a role that could suit Maddie Hassan, I'm also very, very into throwing her name out for every single thing imaginable. But who knows? Who knows what they're going for?
I also do. I'm going to predict it is going to be that age range. I think that's going to be more the age range of like a Mia Goth or something of that nature.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to be right on that.
But like,
Micah Monroe.
Julia Stiles would be great if they go with the
Julia
older,
Stiles.
like if they go a different way and like go a little older. Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to be fun. I can't wait.
And again, we don't. Yeah, but like we also know nothing about what they're actually going to do besides it is a prequel. So it's like I'm connecting dots between the rights that they own and what they can actually use and what has been said already. Mm-hmm. So like still could be very different. We don't actually know, but I'm just going with the actual legal ramifications that are still very much in play, and like those rights are still covered in red tape. So what they can get away with, they will. But
yeah,
there's like a slim margin, I think, with Miller involved.
Yeah, I was trying to see if the article said, well, Sydney Sweeney would be a lot of fun too. I was trying to see if the article mentioned anything about some sort of like timetable so we knew when we would start to get this kind of information, but it does not seem like there is one. So
and like I see people in the chat already being like, well, and Jason Goes to Hell or in Jason like that, like you can't think about any of that. Like all of that's off the table if this is a Miller production. So like this is he actually can't use that stuff that's there because that goes with the other division of rights, I guess to call it.
All right. Well, we're going to see what happens. Every single update, you can bet we're going to cover it right here. Very excited about this one. Shall we do our Barbarian giveaway now?
Yeah, we can do one.
All right. Do you want to do the codes first?
Yeah, I think start with the codes. Do it easier.
Okay. All right. So for the codes, and also these codes are they're for the movie to own it on Movies Anywhere. And what was the question that we had thought of for that one? Oh. So the question for that one is you need to tell us in the live chat. This only pertains to the live chat. Do not tweet us your answer or it will not be seen. And we're going to pick 5 winners. The question we need you to answer is you have to tell us your favorite holy shit moment in a horror movie. Like based on how much like wild stuff goes down in Barbarian, we want you to pinpoint like something equivalent in another movie that just like took your breath away, made you scream out loud in a theater, maybe a communal scream with a whole audience, you name it. Put that in the live chat and we'll pick 5 winners. So Matt,
important question. Is this US only?
Can you talk about something for a minute? Pick another question to ask.
Well, I was gonna ask you if you want to talk about what your answer would be.
Oh,
I can give an answer.
I think you should pick something. You should talk about something while I do something else.
Yeah, no, because like I was thinking about it and like there's a few for me that are very much coming to mind, but it might be a little obvious, but for me, one of my favorite theater experiences still to this day was I think the South by Southwest screening of Hereditary, and sitting in that theater, and it was the scene where Toni Collette is on the wall, and it's so perfectly lit, and it's so incredibly dark, and your eyes aren't adjusted to it yet, and everyone's eyes adjusted at like different levels and different speeds. So I saw Toni Collette in the corner of the room first, and I just started like giggling a little bit, but like that moment was so just like, oh my God, I'm sitting there going like, that is such a good scare moment. But then as everyone else in the theater started noticing, and like it was a wave of just like holy fucks and oh shits, like in like not in synchrony, like over one another. It was one of my favorite what the fuck moments.
I feel like my brain is scrambled because one of the only things that I could think about, and I don't necessarily, I mean, it's like memed and all over the place out there, and it's not even a horror movie. But for anyone who's seen Amsterdam, the Taylor Swift moment, when that happened, I was in a theater that was pretty crowded. For some reason, nobody made a peep in that theater except for me. And like, I'm not super vocal. I cackled out loud. It was that was something. I'll tell you one of my absolute favorite what the fuck type moments that is just absolutely glorious. It's in one of my favorite film franchises of all time. Spoiler alert for Scream 4, but when it's revealed that Emma Roberts is the killer, and a significant amount of that last set piece is her basically like kicking the shit out of herself. And I'm just sitting there like, what am I watching? But I love it so much.
I think a really good gut punch for me, and not to say that I didn't see it coming. I think, Goodnight Mommy, the original one, the Austrian version, I think it does a really good job of, listen, we know where it's going. We know eventually, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie yet, but maybe it's not two brothers, maybe it's one, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you can see where it's going, but still for me, when they light the mother on fire, and that whole sequence of just like that little kid playing that fucked up game with her and just like toying with her, and then just dead ass looking her dead in the eyes and being like, nah, and just like lighting her ablaze. That shit, it was like, that hurt. Like that kind of stuff is like the fuckery that like gets me.
I mean, lighting on fire is also making me think of the scene in Hereditary when that happens.
Well,
to
yeah,
the poor father.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's pick winners, but to answer the previous question before I got distracted, it is only open to folks in the United States. So do keep that in mind. For both of our giveaways today, you do need to be US based. Love to all of our international friends.
Thank you for watching though from international places.
So first,
I'm scrolling up. Yep.
I'm just so happy to see Luke here. This is making me smile so much, Luke. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for being here, and happy Halloween to you and the family.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, how do you want to pick these winners now? Do you want to pick one and then I'll pick one and we'll keep going back and forth?
Well, I'm just kind of going through right now. I think I'm trying to find the first one. Like, I think Travis, Gabriel takes out the police station. Hereditary surprise first death.
There's so many good ones here.
Haley, nope. Halloween H2O, Michael's head getting cut off by Laurie. Malignant.
All right, so are you going to pick one?
I'm going through them right now. I'm just.
I found one that I want to pick, just because it caught my eye and it excites me. Do you want me to go first?
Actually kind of. Yeah, you go first because now I like.
All right.
Too.
Our first winner of this special Halloween episode is...
Are you going to pick mine?
I wonder if I am. This is going to be a fun game.
Go ahead.
Wiley Todd! Holy shit moment, box cutter in green room. That is an excellent scare and gore scene. That is a rock solid choice right there. Wiley, I am noting you down for one of 5. We will communicate via Twitter. If you have I don't know who has Twitter and who doesn't, what's going on right now, but if that is a problem for you, Wiley, just put it in the live chat and we'll make sure to keep an eye out for it. But don't hesitate to at me on Twitter and we'll make sure we get you your code.
Yeah, 100% like that.
We probably should have asked everyone to also include their Twitter handle or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. We know it's Wiley.
No, yeah.
That moment is, I still remember like seeing it at Fantastic Fest, and like you don't know how brutal that movie is going to be until they actually do that scene, and you're like, oh no, I'm in for it. Like,
I think I know which one you're going to pick.
So I can't pick it myself because I'm not logged in as you right now. So
say the name.
322. Kids the Wise.
Yes, I knew you were gonna pick it.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna pick it.
Like it's so. I think contemporary horror has a little. It hasn't been as forthright with these kind of moments, and I say that obviously, Malignant and Barbarian aside, because those two are like the batshit movies the last few years. But that moment in Invisible Man is. It's such a good scare because it does everything right in the sense that it puts it in a public place. It makes you feel safe. It makes you feel comfortable. You're like, nothing can happen here. Everything's fine. And the knife just goes right up. Like the rapidness of it, like the brutality of it. It is such a good. I remember sitting there thinking like the moment that got me first was him going up the attic stairs and she throws the paint on him and he's there. Like that moment enough, it was like such a good jolt. But then,
Yeah, the restaurant scene is probably one of my favorite kills of all time, but I will give credit
Yeah.
to the paint drop thing because that was one of those
Yeah,
things
it's
where it was
great.
revealed in the trailer and I'm like, "Oh no, now it's gonna ruin a great moment in the movie," but it still plays really, really well in the full feature.
So good.
All right, I got another one. You ready for it?
Lassane, suck it,
Classic right
Canada.
here. It's a classic. Sam's getting the
Get out
code.
of here.
All the monsters slash creatures breaking loose in the
That is good.
building in Cabin in
Yeah.
the Woods. Do you have a favorite Cabin in the Woods creature? Cabin in the Woods
Oh
creature
my god, I
board.
did for I mean, like
I'm bringing up the board
I would
so I can
have
be
to go.
reminded of
Yeah, I would have to
what's
go back and
there.
look. The unicorn always gets me because it's just fucking goring people with his horn.
No, that's a good one. I definitely have a soft spot for the merman for
Right. The merman, of course. Yeah, yeah.
obvious narrative reasons. I'd really
There's
like
also a
to
ton we
see
don't
more.
see.
Well, I'd like to see Jack-o'-lantern. Do we ever see the
Right, yeah.
Jack-o'-lantern?
No, like there's some
I
we
don't think
just
we
don't
do.
see that I would love to see them kind of play with.
Hell Lord. I do like the Hell Lord.
But yeah, it just makes me laugh. Like there might be like a gremlin looking thing too at some point. Like isn't something riding the unicorn? I forget. I haven't seen it in a little bit right there.
I think it's probably been like a good year or two since I've rewatched Cabin in the
You
Woods, but
watch
I'll
that.
never forget when it was first available at home. I must have just watched the breakout sequence like
Oh
50
my god,
times
yeah. There's just like a
nonstop.
giant, yeah, there's like a giant snake, there's the zombies, there's just so many things to like try to like latch onto and figure out.
Dismemberment goblins.
Yes, the dismemberment goblins, right. I forgot about them. Like I don't know if we see them, but we need to see more of them.
I would
That's
watch a whole
literally
dismemberment goblin movie.
the dismemberment goblins.
All right,
How many
you're
more
up,
do we
Matt.
have? Yeah, how
We
many more do we have?
have two more left. So, oh, let me write Sam down.
Mhm.
Sam, and then we have a fourth and a fifth.
Give one to Lassane for just saying suck at Canada, being a dick. No,
Give me a
I'm not allowed.
time.
Sorry, Andrew.
Give me a
I'm
time.
looking. Yeah, I'm taking a peeky peek. I'm hovering over like. Oh, actually.
Anytime soon,
322.
Matt.
322 as well, though.
All right, I'm scrolling up. I am in the 322 zone.
322. Right after two after Luke's super.
Two after. Oh, okay. Two after. I got it. Read it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put it up. Sorry.
No, I just want to make sure I have the right one before I bring one up.
Yeah, no. When the baby's neck snaps the mother, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is what the fuckery.
That is
definitive what the fuckery.
That is yeah. That's also a rock solid choice right there. All right. Oswaldo, putting you on my list right now. It sounds like evil. You're on my list. You haven't seen anyone say anything about not having Twitter or being able to contact us that way, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just making sure. Just making sure. All right. Do you want to pick the last one or do you want me to?
Let's say there was one toward that like almost just time for
I see a lot that I like.
Yeah, I kind of want to. What about Annabelle at 329?
329. I'm always happy to hear Annabelle's name. I got it. This one?
I think that's a simple, easy one. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, Martyrs is fucked. Like, I don't know how else to.
I mean, not like neither of you are wrong on this, but I still will never ever rewatch this movie specifically because of that ending, which I found
I will
absolutely horrifying and like deeply upsetting.
I will have to cover that eventually on my remake column, and I'm not looking forward to it because it's the original is so good, but watching it is so tough, and the remake is so bad, and watching it is so tough for different reasons.
Yeah. I'm not going to watch the remake. All right. That's it. Those are our 5 codes.
Oh, damn. So,
what
if
happened?
I saw this, I would have given it to you. Sam Jackson getting eaten by the shark in Deep Blue Sea. Of course. Great what the fuck moment. Monologue.
How come no one put any snakes on a plane moments?
I mean, we're the only ones that just watch Snakes on a Plane.
I have had that song in my head. Oh, I have not thought about this movie in a
Coco D,
while.
Coco Da. Yeah, that's
Jeez.
one. That's a movie.
I'll just never forget. I was actually just revisiting North Bend with Haley, and we forgot we had seen this, but I'll never forget walking out of that movie and turning to her and being like,
God.
what the fuck?
I will admit I didn't dig it, but I appreciate where it goes dark and how it does all that stuff.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me. Wasn't for me.
Yeah, no. I like my bleak stuff. I like the Maniac remake, so it's like, I like my weirdo.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, I'll write this down. Annabelle has put his Twitter handle here. That's very helpful for any other winners except Sam. I know how to get in touch with Sam, but everybody else, if you don't mind, you can drop your handle in here. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to, reach out on Twitter, you could do that as well. Whatever is easiest for everybody.
Easy.
All right. Should we roll straight into the next one, or should we talk about something else and then save it for later?
We can talk about. Did you want to hit on the other news we talked about?
The James Gunn stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a few people responded to our tweet that we were doing it on Monday. Are you going to talk about James Gunn? So happy to, because good news.
I have the article right here from Variety. James Gunn, Peter Safran to lead DC Studios for Warner Brothers Discovery. They're tapped as co-chairman and co-CEOs of DC Studios. Here is a joint quote from them. We're honored to be the stewards of these DC characters we've loved since we were children. We look forward to collaborating with the most talented writers, directors, and actors in the world to create an integrated, multi-layered universe that still allows for the individual expression of the artists involved. Our commitment to Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Harley Quinn, and the rest of the DC stable of characters is only equaled by our commitment to the wonder of human possibility these characters represent. We're excited to invigorate the theatrical experience around the world, as well as tell some of the biggest, most beautiful, and grandest stories ever told. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's enough. That's enough.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, for me, the passion that Gunn has for everything he does, he's not going to take this role if he's not actually passionate about it. I think Amelia and I were talking about it, and she mentioned that Gunn has been avoiding trying to get locked down for so long, and I don't think this was purely a money thing. I think, of course, they threw a shit ton of money at him, but he still wouldn't have done it if he actually believes in this stuff. And I mean, he's one of the filmmakers to me that has made the most of his Marvel work, in the sense that he's found a way to come into the MCU and make his characters shine in a way that feels so specifically Gunn. So I feel like him navigating these studios and him navigating these kind of blockbuster films and still finding a way to make them feel very individual, it sets every other filmmaker up for success working with him, because he's going to encourage them to do exactly what he did. He's going to encourage them to be like, well, I want to see your take on this superhero. I don't want just another DC movie. I want to see what you bring to it. So I am very happy that he is co-part of this, because again, he's part of a team here. He's not even alone here.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of his work, and I don't think he's the kind of person who's probably ever done anything just for the money.
Yeah.
So I've got a whole lot of faith, and I really do believe in the statement that they gave too, and in particular the part where they talk about preserving, the unique voices of the creators they're working with. I think is really important and something that I know they're going to do their best to hold tight to. The only two pauses this news gives me is someone brought it up here. Now I can't find the first person who mentioned it. If James, here it is. Does this mean James Gunn won't direct anymore for a while? Honestly, I don't know. And I don't think anybody except for the folks behind the scenes, in those certain rooms really do know the answer to that question. But I would imagine spearheading a big property like this probably will take up a significant amount of time and maybe not leave as much room open for helming his own projects, which, it disappoints me a little bit, because I like the things he directs quite a bit. The other thing,
but it says he will direct exclusively though. So it says if he does direct, he will direct in that sphere, but still I don't think he'll stop. I know he might not be doing as much as he can be, but part of the clause was that he will be able still to direct, because again, I don't see him taking that just as an office job. I feel like he takes that knowing that he can still go pursue his projects.
I don't see anything in this Variety article specifying what he can and cannot direct, for what that's worth.
He can still direct. That is part of the agreement.
But is there some sort of like exclusivity that you saw, like where he can only direct for this particular franchise?
I'm almost positive.
You are correct.
Yeah, right. Yes, Amelia's.
It is a very specific clause that he will continue to direct exclusively under DC. That is why they are co-CEOs.
Yeah, exactly. So to repeat what Amelia just said, they are co-CEOs because he is now exclusively directing under the DC banner, but he still will be directing. So like that's why he's a co-CEO and not just Kevin. He's not Kevin Feige. He's like half of Kevin Feige, so that when he wants to go do his other thing, his partners can say, "Hey, I'll be the Kevin Feige while you're going doing that."
I'm just looking up all that exclusivity stuff. I don't know. That's a little disappointing, just because, you know, I like the wacky side stuff he can do sometimes. So to close the door on that for a period of time at least would be a little disappointing.
And Songbird just put 2 quotes in, and they're just there in the chat if you want to just take a look at them. But it's the confirmation.
Gunn will focus on the creative side of things, while Safran will focus on the business and production side. Makes sense. Both are expected to continue to direct and produce projects respectfully. The goal is for them not just to be producers, but to truly function as executives, even as Gunn will occasionally hone a movie. This all makes sense. I think that the quote specifically that I really want to find is something saying that he is, like, for the foreseeable future, he is only going to be associated with DC projects. Like, he is completely cut off from any other type of film and television making. You know what I mean?
I'm almost positive that is out there. So like after we do this, obviously just go double check for yourself. But I'm sure, I think that is out there.
Because the other types of things, I want to look up a couple titles and get them down accurately before I even bring this up. But like another thing that Gunn has done a bit of that I really like is serve as executive producer on some things. It's like the one that's coming to mind right now is Brightburn. I know he did that. And, you know, if you don't have someone like James Gunn affiliated with a movie like that, maybe it doesn't happen. So I know he'll be able to use, you know, his new resources and his status to get projects made within the DC family now, and hopefully be able to usher in newer creators that way. But, you know, I like a very specific type of like side, you know, take big swings, big risks kind of movie.
Well, I mean, like,
and it just seems like those possibilities might be a little more limited now.
Yeah, and like you're talking about James Gunn from the like his track was literally trauma to like Kevin Feige, like, you know, like in a way, like this dude started making the trauma stuff, and you know, I think he's very much evolved out of it, like 100%. I think he, you know, whatever. I have feelings about trauma, and I have feelings about all that stuff, but like he started being that kind of rebellious filmmaker, and he still is that to a degree. Like he still directs and pursues things with a little bit of rebellion. He does his own thing. So yeah, to understand that that's only a DC Warner Brothers connection now, like it is a little disappointing in a way, but at the same time, like, again, I don't see him taking this kind of deal without still being able to be James Gunn. Like I know that things will shift and things will change a little bit, but I cannot perceive in my mind knowing what he's done and what he's made. And like you just said, like, you know, Brightburn was even like one of his like you know, he was mentoring somebody basically and bringing them up, and they starred in this movie called The Hive, and like then they get to do Brightburn with James Gunn. So like I don't think that goes away. I think it will not be as much because yes, he has a lot more duties now and he's a lot more things to worry about. But
yeah, David Yarovesky did Brightburn, and I think they're also good friends. I mean, that's something else that I really like about Gunn's work is he seems to do that kind of thing where he kind of like builds a creator family, and he really you know, he's very loyal to the people he's working with and very loyal to the people that he wants to give a boost to. And it's very exciting that he's going to get to do that through a gigantic property like DC. But some concern about the side projects. And also, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, is still my favorite movie of the MCU. And most of the Guardians are my favorite characters in the MCU. And, you know, this might sound a little close-minded, but at this point, the Guardians franchise is over when he's no longer able to direct them, because and usually I do like to stay open-minded and say, you know, there's tons of creative individuals out there. There's not just one person who can do anything, but I don't know, that style and tone and everything about those movies just feels so incredibly specific to him. My brain just can't quite compute a way for somebody else to continue that like sub-series within the MCU that's not him.
Oh, and you can't. I mean, that is the thing. I agree with you. Guardians is my number one, and like I like Guardians and Guardians 2 might be like in my top 5. Like I know Guardians 2 takes a step down in some ways, but I'm never not going to just turn into a pile of tears during the Ravager funeral and stuff like that. Like just the way Gunn takes me to those movies, like, you know, I'm not, again, like not to knock other filmmakers and other movies in the MCU, but like, I don't feel as connected to the other MCU movies as I do watching like Guardians and Guardians 2. So just like whatever James Gunn does, whatever he brings, it is, you know, just watching the trailer for the Christmas special. Like I'm sitting here going like, you son of a bitch, you're going to make me cry with this shit, aren't you? Like you're going to find a way to make me cry with a Christmas special featuring Kevin Bacon.
See, but even this with what Elise brings up. So I was really excited for the Guardians to get their appearance in Thor Love and Thunder. And I really did enjoy Thor Love and Thunder quite a bit. If you had asked me what other director could maybe handle the Guardians, I probably would have said Taika Waititi. That ends up being one of my least favorite parts of the movie. I did not think that those characters were used as well as they could have been.
I think that might,
too.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like that might have been something that was added at a different time, maybe. Let's say, like it just didn't feel like something that felt like it was part of the movie. And I like you just said, it felt like something out there. So I might say that like if Taika had the chance to focus on that and actually like do right, I think he might do a little better. But I agree, it felt shoehorned.
Yep. But as far as what it means for the DC films. Like, I think it can only help. But
absolutely.
I hate to be so negative. One other potential pitfall I do have to point out is that the higher ups there, the people that, you know, they will work under, I still don't have a whole lot of faith in
I don't trust them for shit.
Given certain things that have been done recently, and until there is proof that they will take a hands-off approach and let these two guys do what they want to do and what they think is best for the film series, I just can't be 100% confident that they're going to be given like full reign to do everything that they want.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't say it, I was going to too. I mean, it's the same thing of like you've found probably the two best people you can to put in this scenario. And like, I'm very excited for the opportunities they're going to get and what this means for them. But there is still the actual reality that this is all, you know, under Zaslav and all that shit. So like, it's still that family company. And I don't trust anything from them because I feel like they could decide that, oh, this James Gunn guy is taking too many risks and doing too many things that we don't agree with. And all of a sudden it's over. Like, can they do that? I don't know. Maybe, probably. I'd assume so. So if they do actually trust Gunn, and trust the team. Sorry, I keep just saying Gunn, but this is two people. So like trust that team and let them do what they want to do and what they should be allowed to, because that is how this works. That's how this thrives. It's the same way of like letting the filmmakers shine in their individual movies. You also have to let like Gunn and Safran shine as the people overseeing this, because if you manage them too hard, manage them like and overmanage them, actually, that's how this all fails.
I mean, this is probably worth bringing up too. It's kind of big news.
I mean, yep. Cavill's back. Like
he's back as Superman, but he's out in The Witcher. How
The Witcher's dead. Work? The Witcher is so dead with Liam Hemsworth.
No.
It's gone. It's gone.
I'm surprised. I'm so much more excited to talk about The Witcher ramifications than I am about Superman. But
please, by all means,
you know, I love my positivity. I want to have hope for everything. Sometimes in this business, you're tied to one thing and it means you have to sacrifice something else. Like, it happens. And there's also a lot of great work happening around Henry Cavill in The Witcher. Even with all that, I don't understand how that series survives without Henry Cavill as Geralt. It just, and I don't even necessarily think it's like a Liam Hemsworth problem.
Yeah.
I think he was just saddled with an absolutely impossible task where he will never be able to live up to those expectations. And the truth of the matter also is 2 seasons in, I'm already quite connected. And I love that character. I love all the characters so much. After 3 full seasons of seeing his interpretation of that character and growing that attached to him, you can't just shift it. You can't. I mean, I haven't played the Witcher game, so perhaps that limits my creative thinking in terms of what I'm about to throw out there, but isn't there a way narratively to let his Geralt like walk off into the sunset? I mean, I'd rather not see him die. I'm trying to tiptoe around saying that.
Yeah.
And then having, Liam Hemsworth in a different role come in and kind of take on that kind of feel in the series, that kind of feel in the series.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a way, but like also not really when you're backed into that scenario. Like they just have to keep going with that storyline. Like their choices are basically to probably scrap whatever future plans they have and start over, or just like replace. And to me, like, okay, so I'm gonna out myself and say I haven't watched or played the Witcher, so like take this with a grain of salt by all means. But replacing Henry Cavill with Liam Hemsworth, it's not that like one is greater than the other. It's just they're two different types of actor. They're just not in the same category for me. So like I don't understand how something that drastic works.
It doesn't even like it doesn't even matter that they're two completely different types of actors. They're two different people, period.
That part of it too. They are different people, 100%.
It's like the worst fucking magic trick in the world. It's like, I don't know. You think someone's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat and you get like, now I'm going to make a really insulting comparison. I'm just not going to do it. I'll stop there. I read a lot of, not the first novel because I know they go a little out of order, but when I covered season 2, I did read like 3/4 of whatever the first book is chronologically. And I really liked it, but then I got distracted by other assignments and had to switch over. But I liked what I read, and we'll probably go back at a point. All right. Do we want to do our second giveaway?
Yes. Give me 1 second, though, because I'm researching something about the Astros game that has implications for whether we're going to Burbank or not tonight. They're talking about postponing the game, and we were going to meet Daniel and Adam to watch it.
Why are they postponing the game?
There's weather. There's weather.
Okay.
Is your show over?
What?
Is your show over?
No, I'm talking to Perry about it right now. What do you mean? What?
Well, now everyone will be able to find you tonight. I will introduce our second giveaway. Our second giveaway is, hang tight, I'm just looking up a little information, but then I will tell you what it is. So our second giveaway is for these bottles here. So just in case you actually want to, I mean, you're probably not going to use the bottles if they're signed, but you can use them. They also have like proper tops so that they're actual water bottles. But if you want to win one of 2 of these that are signed by producer Roy Lee and also actor Matthew Patrick Davis, who plays the mother in Barbarian, this is what you have to do. Because Matthew Patrick Davis signed this, we want you all to tell us your favorite creature actor performance in a movie. So we want to celebrate his work in particular by you celebrating somebody else's. So you can't name Matthew Patrick Davis as much as you might like his
no favorites
in Barbarian. You're not allowed.
No playing
you
favorites.
To suggest something else, and then you will win this glorious bottle that comes with hair. That comes with fucking dangly hair.
Perry, what's your favorite? Oh wait, actually, hold on. This is fair. Neil said, "Can I say Kane Hodder?" Are we talking? Or do slasher villains count?
Yes. Yeah, yes? I think they have to.
Slasher villains count.
I do think they have to.
That's fair.
There's a lot of good like physical performances where, whether it's like a super dialogue heavy villain or not, like they convey so much through like screen presence and body language. So that definitely counts.
My latest remake column at Bloody I posted today was for Rob Zombie's Halloween, and it's a love or hate movie, and I totally understand that, and everyone is valid to their opinion. But I really like Tyler Mane as Michael Myers. Like I know all the OG stuff. I know that like we have to respect our elders and stuff like that, and I do. I love every iteration of Michael, but like the 2000s version of that we do with Jason Voorhees, that we do with Leatherface, that we do with Michael Myers. Like I just love that fucking aggressive, feral, just totally like Hulk mode beast out slasher villain. Like I like rewatching that specifically. I was like, this Michael is fucking terrifying, and like it just adds so much more to it. So like like the underappreciated nature of saying someone like Tyler Mane and saying like, even in a movie that a bunch of people hate, that character acting or that creature acting, to call it like that, like it's so standout.
My favorite creature actor in general is and will probably always be Javier Botet. I think he is absolutely incredible. And one year I got to interview him, and I was just like probably more starstruck than I have been in a really long time. But bringing him up also gives me the perfect excuse to share one of my favorite horror videos out there. I've spoken about it a lot. It's the Mama motion test.
Oh, the motion test. Yes.
You've seen it, right? All right. Good.
Yeah. It's very good.
I'm going to drop it in the live chat. So I do kind of like Mama. I think it's a solid movie, but I do think it was a mistake to cover so much of Botet's performance in CG ultimately, because when you look at the motion test that I just dropped in the live chat, like, why did they add anything? You didn't have to. He looked incredible.
It's the same thing in the Thing prequel, or whatever, remake prequel, whatever you call it, and they did the same thing. Like they showed these practical tests and all the great practical effects because, of course, you're connecting yourself to the Thing. The Thing is literally like the pinnacle of like 8 practical effects in that old school mentality, and like why it's better. So what are you doing bringing CGI to a practical effects fight? Like I don't understand that choice at all.
Bring CGI to a practical effects fight. I like that. I like that.
It's just especially in a Thing connected movie. Okay, I get it. I get why CGI works. I get why we do it. It's cost saving, stuff of that nature. But in the same respect, you don't come into the Thing franchise and try to be like, well, we could do it better with CGI, because you fucking can't. And it showed why.
I have not seen this, Ian. I'm putting it on my list. I'm looking it up. Do you want to, after we're done with this, hear a little rant? I have a rant that I could go on.
If you have a rant, I'm always down to hear it.
Remind me to actually bring this up. Yes, that test footage is so good. All right. We each pick one. Do you want me to pick first, or do you want to pick?
You go first, because I'm looking.
Okay. I am going to go with Dollface's suggestion.
Yeah.
So, Dollface, you win a signed bottle. Either reach out to me on Twitter yourself, or actually, like that's a bad idea. Dollface, can you put in the live chat your Twitter handle? That's probably the better way that we should have done this. I think so. Whoever is still here that isn't Sam, I would recommend doing it that way. But I really like the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark film. I think it's pretty rock solid across the board. But the Pale Lady was like above and beyond one of the best parts of the whole film.
But like actually the entire Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I believe their creature actor list includes Twisty Troy, includes Javier Botet. Like they got like a murderer's row of creature character actors to play in this film, because Twisty Troy does the creature that comes out of the chimney, I believe, like the one that like the Bojangly one. I believe Javier Botet plays like the guy with the foot. I don't remember their actual names from the film.
I think that might have been what I interviewed him for, but I feel like we talked about a million times, so I don't fully remember.
But like,
by the way, Dollface and Wiley, I got you guys written down, so you're both taken care of.
Perfect. So like, Scary Stories to Tell in Dark, PG-13 horror that just knows how to do it right and that's how you know it's made by somebody who loves horror. And like that's why like Guillermo producing and Andre Overdahl like being part of it and being the director, everything comes from such a place of love because they know who to cast. Like it's not just going out there and being like whoever, whatever, blah blah blah. Like no, they got like the greatest working like creature actors today, and they put them in this movie, and that's why it stands out.
All right, Matt, you got to pick someone.
Yep, easy. 3. Well, I think Spartan said it a few times, but we're absolutely going to go with 352.
352. Mr. I'm going back up. I'm going back up. 3.
Actually, it was 2 above. 2 above Dollface. So literally 2 above.
I got it. Hoshi, you're a winner.
Yeah, easy.
All right, Hoshi, you don't have to send me your Twitter handle. I could reach out.
Like it's again, Goldblum. Like I don't know if he was born to play the role, but like he walked into it absolutely 100% ready to play that role. And it's not just about the character he plays outside of the prosthetics and outside of the makeup and everything. It's the character he continues to play and how that continues to evolve and everything he does under there. So like absolutely stand out.
All right. Before we move on, first of all, congratulations to all of our winners today. It's so fun to be able to give back to you all in this kind of way, and I know how much enthusiasm there is for Barbarian. So it was very exciting to get to do this, and congratulations to you all. If Oswaldo Torres and also Kiz the Wiz 92 are still here, drop your Twitter handles in the live chat, and I will reach out ASAP. Congratulations, everyone. Do you want to hear my little rant?
Yeah, please, by all means. I'm going to get my charger while I do that. I'm just going to plug it in. Okay. So you start your rant.
I can't believe your computer hasn't been plugged in the whole time.
Oh, it was fully charged. Like it was a fully charged one. So like I could make it, but I just want to be safe.
All right. Oh, before my rant, I love this story so much. Jeff Goldblum as the wizard in Wicked. I am ridiculously excited about that Wicked movie. I have been waiting ever since they first announced it, which feels like many, many years ago at this point, but I really can't imagine a better person for that role. I'm very excited.
No, that's A plus casting.
Very, very, very spot on casting. So my rant comes from FYC. So, Matt, there were a lot of things that I thought were going to spark a reaction in our most recent episode of For Your Consideration. But do you know what really got people riled up?
Like your audience?
Yeah. I shouldn't generalize it like that because not everybody.
No, I understand.
Not everybody did this.
It got the reaction you didn't expect. I don't know. What
I got a lot of shit for one, not having seen Elvis in particular, but two, not having seen like all the movies in contention for nominations. We did Best Actor, and I haven't seen Banshees and a couple of other things. And I'll tell you, this is the internet. We all know people can be mean. We all know we should ignore certain things. I've developed pretty thick skin with some, very familiar insults that people usually hurl. I don't think anything hurt my feelings more. In all honesty, I think the insult that has hurt my feelings more so than anything is people getting mad that watching movies is my job and I hadn't seen enough movies that we were talking about in that particular episode.
So watching movies is not that. Here's the thing that gets maybe misconstrued or something like that. Like we are film critics, 100%. Like watching movies is part of our job, but like our job is not to watch every single movie. Like we actually have to write articles and do other things around them. So like I don't know about you, but for me, I can get through most of the year and all I see are things I'm writing about because there are so many things coming out. It is just bonkers to think that anyone can sit down. Even if your job was just to watch movies, I still don't think you could sit there and watch everything that comes out from every studio streaming service. Like it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
I understand people getting on my case, once we hit the predicting the winner phase, because I do think that, especially when it comes to the biggest of the big categories, because I also think it is very challenging to watch every single thing that earns a nomination. That's also very difficult. But when it comes to like all the best picture, like I expect myself to have seen all of those. But at this particular time of year, it gets incredibly complicated because I'll just throw it out an example. I like most people were especially mad about Elvis. So maybe this isn't a good comp, but for example, a movie like The Whale, I tried really damn hard to get a ticket to a screening of The Whale at TIFF. I wasn't given one, and I'm not mad about it. I understand they have their priorities and there's certain reasons and whatever, but I tried and I couldn't get it, and there have been no screenings given to me since then. So in some cases it's not possible. And when it comes to a movie like Elvis, that was the week that I went to the Gina Davis Film Festival. I missed my screenings, and by the time I got back, Comic-Con was right around the corner. Then I lost a month plus of this summer. Then it was TIFF. Then it was New York Comic-Con. Award season prognostication is a top priority for me, but there are so many other elements of the job, whether you're talking about being an award season expert, a horror expert, or you're just talking about like keeping a Patreon up and running so you could keep a channel up and running. Like doing my behind the scenes work at Collider that nobody really sees, but still needs to happen. There's just so many things that go into all of this. And as someone who spends every waking hour working, whether it's working, writing, watching a movie, you name it, I was just like, honestly, like, fuck you guys. That one hurt.
Yeah. But like honestly, they can go fuck off because everything you said is just like as Ian just put in the chat. Do you know how many shitty shark movies I have seen this year that I have had to write about, and I still haven't seen Elvis either? Because like even me flying home from New York, like I looked at the movies that were available online. Like that was the time I probably could have watched Elvis. But you know what else I didn't want to do? Watch Elvis at that point. Am I going to before I vote? Absolutely. But do I have priorities right now? Like I watched Marcel the Shell and Lightyear. And I rewatched Dominion to try to give it its due, but like that was my flight home. It's just, it is the idea that like we also rely on for your consideration screeners, and that is a tremendous privilege for us. But like that is the thing, like we do rely on those, so it is still too early for us to have. I'm going to sit down all of November and binge everything I have to watch. Still, like that is what I do. My work takes me until like, especially writing about horror mainly. Like I wrote about so much horror shit this month and last month that like I couldn't see like even the menu or something because like that played a few festivals I wasn't at and I couldn't make the screenings yet. So like it is now awards season, and that is now when we can actually prioritize that. So like fuck off. Like no, like absolutely fuck off. I'm tired 24/7. Don't fucking come at me.
I know. I was just like surprised that that hurt my heart as much as it did. But I appreciate all the support in this comment section right now, and just also helping me feel better by venting a little.
Also, two questions from Neil that were posted throughout the time that I did see. Number one, Neil said 30 days a night. Is it recommended? And I just want to,
Big
30 days a night is great. Watch it. Absolutely. And then Neil, you also,
I just so I'm just gonna randomly throw this out there. I moderated another SAG panel recently, and they keep giving me the stuff that they know I like, and they let me moderate a casting directors panel with folks who specialize in horror. And one of the people that I spoke to had worked on 30 Days of Night, so you can bet I brought it up during that conversation.
And then I think Neil also said Wretched, but I think that is The Wretched. Did you see The Wretched when it came out on 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, why does that sound so familiar?
IFC midnight release about a kid that goes to live with his dad for summer vacation, and his neighbor might be a witch.
I know, it's a really good you're talking about. I didn't see it though.
Yeah. If that is what you're talking about, Neil, it's on Netflix, I believe, right now. It's called The Wretched. It actually is a really tight little indie with some good creature effects, talking about creatures. Like the woman plays or the woman that plays the witch, like gets in all crackly and, like her bones start cracking and stuff like that. It's good. Also, and if you want to end on a discussion point,
Yes, yes.
LOC at 404 said, "How did you guys get into film reviewing?"
Oh,
Do you want that to be what takes us out?
Yeah, because like hopefully we have some newer viewers right now too. And just in case you want like a little background on us, do you want to go first, Matt, or do you want me to?
You go first because you were first, and then I can literally tie it into like everything.
So one of my very first jobs in this industry out of college was I was a freelancer for Cinema Blend, and I started with like lower tier work, like writing news articles about press releases and just conveying information that way. And then eventually I started doing Blu-ray reviews, and then that turned into movie reviews. And then eventually I went and I worked with I don't know if anybody out there knows them still, but Jeffrey Lyons and Allison Bales, who did like a show that I grew up watching called Real Talk, and it took place in New York. When that was canceled, that was kind of like, it was very sad because I was very happy working there, but that was kind of, what ignited the interest and the drive and the determination to be a critic for myself. And then I'll add one more thing to that. So I started critiquing right after that, or critiquing more frequently at least. Then I felt really bad for critiquing other people's work and having no understanding of what actually went into making a movie. So I decided to get a degree in film, specifically producing, and I got an MFA. And not only did I think the MFA make me a better critic and a better interviewer, but it also proved to me that I'm on the right side of the industry, because that's a really hard job. And as much as I had fun and I'm very proud of the work I made there, I think I belong here.
That is fair. It is incredibly hard, but it also gives you appreciation. That's the thing. It gives you the appreciation on the other side. And you did it.
That it does. I did it. I'm very proud of myself for doing it, because it was hard. It was hard.
And then for me, what's the easiest way to say this? I went to business school. Like, I was a business major. I had no kind of aspirations of like any kind of creative writing. The story I always tell is in high school, my honors English teacher I had sophomore year was also our film studies teacher. So like, he should have been probably like the teacher who said the most encouraging things to me growing up. And he looked at me on the last day of our class and he was like, "You don't belong in my class. I'm glad you're leaving," kind of shit. And I was like, "Oh, cool. All right, bye. See you later." So like, I had no aspirations of doing anything in this realm. Anyway, went to school, got a business degree, did the whole kind of desk job thing. And I'm like, I need some kind of creative outlet, and movies were a fun thing that I started getting more involved in. I started kind of just like writing your basic blog that no one ever read, but I just kept doing it over and over. But just fun for me. And that is kind of like the through line for all of this. Is like, it's always been fun for me to do. And it's always been something that like I've pursued myself. So it's the track of like, I got started at We Get This Covered long ago before it turned into a complete trash heap. I stopped being with them after a while and started getting much better outlets. And it's just been an upward trajectory since then.
Nice. That kind of warmed my heart. I didn't expect to end a Halloween episode there.
Yeah, it's a fun little question to,
I'll throw in one Halloween specific question, just because other people who are newer here don't know the answer to this yet either. Matt, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
It's got to be just I was going to say basic Reese's, but when Reese's Pumpkins are out, that's the good stuff. The best chocolate to Reese's, or chocolate to peanut butter ratio of a Reese's, is the Reese's Pumpkin.
So the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is my favorite candy of all time. If I'm saying my favorite Halloween candy, I really wanted to be able to say this and then click end stream so no one could comment.
Done. So no one can.
But Caleb already threw in a super chat, so we have to keep discussing after this.
We'll do this. Yeah.
My favorite Halloween candy is candy corn. I love candy corn.
You have your supporters.
I love candy corn. It's very good. It's very good.
We have the pumpkins. We have the little candy pumpkins and the candy corn too.
Oh, those are pretty good. I prefer, like, if I'm buying what I want, I'm buying traditional candy corn, but those are also pretty good.
Yeah.
Caleb is here with a little football chat for us and a super chat. Thank you very much, Caleb. Hope all is well. Y'all celebrate Halloween. I'll celebrate 6-2 for the Dallas Cowboys. I do enjoy watching the Cowboys crush. partially because like
They
I have
are?
Zeke who isn't really like doing all that much for me, but I always think of Caleb and how happy it makes him, and that makes me happy. You know where I am? You know where I am crushing though, Matt?
Go ahead.
I'm really close to the top in the fantasy football league that we have with the Patreon team. Like I'm only second to Sam now, and I feel really good about my chances. But in our other league, I'm like absolute shit.
Yeah. Well, so I think I'm trying to beat Amelia this week in our critics league. She has the lead, and I don't think I'm gonna win, but like I'll be 4-4 in that league, so I have time for a comeback. In your league, I will be 5-3, I think. Because I think I demolished. Who did I demolish this week? Somebody in the chat, I think. I did some okay stuff.
You're doing better in both than I thought.
Yeah, and so I'm doing best in my dynasty league, the one that like I've put the most time into.
Matt beat Tommy. Sorry, Tommy.
Sorry, Tommy. I demolished him. Like it wasn't.
Well, I demolished Amelia. I had a big week.
Because Amelia had a good week, and you just had the best week.
Well,
like
but
literally there was no beating you.
That's what happened in our critics league too. I didn't have that bad of a week. I think I'm still trending for something like 140 points. My competitor has almost 210 though.
Yeah,
she had fucking McCaffrey. It's not fair.
There's just nothing.
It's not fair. She had McCaffrey, Waddle, and Hopkins. There was no chance. No chance.
Absolutely not. Christian McCaffrey, the quarterback, wide receiver, running back slot.
Can you stop being so good, please? Just stop.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah. So I'm playing Amelia in our league, in our critics league. I have Joe Burrow. She has T. Higgins. So like because I don't have Jamar Chase anymore, as long as Joe Burrow doesn't throw the ball to T. Higgins, who could possibly happen because he is now the number 1 wide receiver and he will be double covered probably. So I don't know. It could happen. Crazier things.
I want to look that up really badly to see where you two are at. Okay.
We're literally with it. It could go either way.
Amelia's projected for about 112 and you're projected for 106. So like really.
So it could go, yeah.
Really Amelia.
If T. Higgins underperforms.
Can she hear me? Can she hear me?
What do you want to relay?
I want you to tell her that she should lose. You should beat her because she didn't update her damn lineup.
We
does not deserve to win that game.
We were at a party. We were at a Halloween party.
I'm sorry. Michael Thomas has barely played all season. If it was literally anybody else, maybe I would say, okay, mistakes happen.
All right, we got 2 more super chats.
All right. Wiley's here. What is the first movie you are watching for Christmas? I hadn't really thought about that.
I see. I'm a staunch. You're not going to get Christmas out of me until December, so I've got like another month. Like I ain't diving unless the screening. What?
You live with me.
That's fair. Fuck. Amelia's like, no, we're gonna watch Christmas movies immediately. So apparently that's happening. But as long as my screening for Violent Night comes soon,
well,
that's gonna be my first Christmas movie.
I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with that movie.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm very. So I guess technically that was my first horror movie, and I saw it in mid-October.
Yeah, your first Christmas movie. Yeah, and you saw it like literally.
What did I just say? Halloween movie?
You said horror. Yeah. Well, technically, it kind of like it's genre if you want to go with that.
Yeah. It's a little of everything.
But no, that is. But like Anna and the Apocalypse is always my rewatch now. Yeah. Like that is my one. So like if I'm gonna start that Christmas season with anything, probably Anna. Although I did watch Gremlins already this year. I watched Gremlins the other night. So like maybe that counts.
It's very on brand for you. I'll probably wind up starting with The Nightmare Before Christmas usually, or Krampus. I really love Krampus. I wish that movie got more credit than it does. Yeah.
Did you get the extended edition?
I didn't, but you have it, and we were supposed to watch it one night and never did.
Yeah. I have it. So whenever.
I would like to watch it.
Okay.
All right. Last one. Take us out.
Mm-hmm.
That one moody guy. What movie are you watching in honor of Halloween? This is the easiest question because if I am reduced to one specific movie, it is always and forever Trick or Treat.
There you go. Yeah, that is the quintessential.
There is no Halloween day in my life that movie will not be watched. Otherwise, it's not Halloween for me.
So I watched yesterday the original Halloween and Rob Zombies. So like I feel like I got both of my Halloween specific movies out of my system yesterday. So today I usually do a rewatch of the 2013 Evil Dead, but I want to try to watch something new tonight. So honestly, I'm just going to go back and find something like I'm going to find that one embarrassing movie that I still haven't watched yet and just like knock it out and like do something. So I don't know what it is yet. Honestly, I will go find that out. But like my actual answer, my Evil Dead 2013 is one of my favorite Halloween movies to watch. And I know it's not Halloween specific, but it gives me everything I want, from like scares to like practical to like everything about it. Like that's the horror movie that I want to watch.
All righty. Sorry, I was just scrolling back. Kiz the Wiz, if you're still here, I have your Twitter handle. So the only one I don't have, last call, not last call. We'll figure it out. Oswaldo Torres. Let me know if you have a Twitter handle or prefer another means of communication. And that's it. That is a wrap on our Halloween 2022 episode. Thank you all for spending your holiday afternoon with us. Be safe, have fun, watch Trick or Treat, eat candy corn, or do whatever you got to do to celebrate this very special day. Do you want to plug anything? I was about to close it out, but I forgot.
As always, at Donato Bomb on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Instagram. As long as Twitter is still alive and not dead yet, so do that soon. Who knows? We'll be at Twitter very, very much longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just posted a new remake column on Blade Disgusting where I just kind of go into originals and remakes, have a little fun, and yeah. So I did Zombies Halloween finally, and we stacked them up against Carpenters, and in my opinion, spoiler alert, but like whether you like the movie or not, someone like Rob Zombie is the person that I want helm in a remake. It's going to be his vision. It's going to be individual, and like I'd rather see something that off base than David Gordon Green kind of just like doing Carpenter again.
You want to fight before you go?
Well, we have until tomorrow now, so we don't have to worry about it today.
I'll leave you guys with my Grace Gummer Ladies Night, which is up and running. It was largely for Let the Right One In, which is actually a really good adaptation. I was a little surprised because the movies are so good. What were the odds that we would get a third really good one? But I'm liking what I've seen thus far. We also talk about American Horror Story, so it's very holiday appropriate. So go check that out on the Collider Extras YouTube channel. What?
Oswaldo, I'll go back to your last comment. So
amazing. I got you, Oswaldo. To everybody out there, thank you so much for being here, for playing around with our giveaway questions. Roger says it's done. It's time to go. Happy Halloween, everyone.